Hey, hey, second grade friends. It's Miss Street, live from the basement of the Streeterosa. So I promised that we would talk about the associative property or grouping property with our math problem for 2.NBT.7. And parents and kids and teachers, you need to know that you don't have to know that it's called the associative property because that word's like huge. Okay. But what you do need to know is that changing the grouping of 3 or more add-ins or the numbers like the 400 and the 134 we're working with in our problem, it does not change the value. And an example of that I'm going to show you is if we were to say 5 plus 7 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3, but we actually, when we add parentheses around two numbers, we group those numbers together, and that means that we have to add those first if they're in a group together. So that's why we have 7 plus 5 is 12, and 7 plus 3 is 10, because we grouped them that way. So here we end up having 12 plus 3, because we brought our 3 down, has the same value as 5, brought it down, plus 10. And when we add these together, they both are the same value as 15. So that's what the associative property means. And second graders, you need to be able to do that. I know it's somewhere, but you are. So Miss Street's going to model it today. So we're going to start it with our subitizing. 6 to make 10. None left over. We know the real name for that is 110. 0 ones. The nickname is 11. And here's where we kept getting to. Do you think of that as 6 plus 4, 4 plus 6? Are those the same thing? I'm not sure. They're not. They're different stories. Their value is the same, but their story is quite different. Okay? So if we were to put words and make a story with these stories would be different. So how many to make 10? I'm going to go slow here. We see we have 4 in the tens frame, and here we have 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is kind of where we've been getting caught up just a little bit, okay? So to make 10, we know we would need 5, 6. So if we took 6, and that would leave us 1 left over. But what if somebody looked at it like this? What if somebody said, well, I know I have 7 here, so I want to take these 3 and put them over here with the 7. Can they do that? Yes, that's the associative property. I got this, Miss Street. That's the associative property. So the first time we can add, we had 4 plus 7. So then we said 4 plus 6 plus 1. And so 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus the 1 is 11. Okay, and Miss Street's thinking about, did I say that correctly? Because we did 4, 5, 6 plus 1. So here we kept the 4 in the tens frame, and we said 6 plus 1. Okay? So here if we said 4 plus 6, we know that's 10. If we added 1, that's the 1 right here, so that gets us 11. Let's look here. So here we had the same thing, but instead we took these 3, moved them over with the 7. So we had 4. I think this is written incorrectly, but it's okay. It's okay. Miss Street didn't make this. I'm going to show you this way. Okay. Would it be easier to say 4 plus 7 or 7 plus 4? Or you could say 4 plus 6 plus 1 in a group. Or 7 plus 3 plus 1 in a group. So I know I probably made that more confusing, but you know what? That gives Miss Street great feedback for herself, because that means I can study more and do better with this next week. It's a true story, because it's hands up for the weekend. It's the weekend. I'm excited, even though like every day feels like the weekend because we're just here at our house. I mean, sort of. Okay, so we were looking at this problem. We did this yesterday. And remember with our standard, how about I read that? We need to add and subtract within 1,000. relating the strategy to a written method. So basically this is saying, as second graders, you have an addition or subtraction problem within the numbers up to 1,000, and you have to be able to show your work. What did you do? You have to be able to explain your thinking. And that's really hard. Like a lot of times we want to say, I know 2 plus 2 is 4 because it just is. It's in my brain. And that's all well and good, but to explain it, we could say, I know if I subitize, I see a group of 2, a group of 2, 2 groups of 2, and that is the same value as 4. You just have to be able to explain your thinking. So here was our problem yesterday. A second grade class is collecting cans to recycle. Their goal is to collect 400 cans. The class has collected 134 cans. How many cans does the second grade class still need to collect to reach their goal? So the first strategy, that's Miss Street's first go-to strategy all the time, is to use manipulatives, and I drew the manipulatives. So the first one we did was concrete models and drawings. And remember, we talked yesterday about how Miss Street did not have base 10 blocks, but I used the cards as my hundreds. I use the markers as my 10s, and I use these little counters from a Connect 4 board game as my 1s. So we used that yesterday to show our work, and then we drew it on the paper. The 400 here, this is what we wanted to get to, and we wrote our answer in a different form. We wrote 300 plus 90 10s plus 10 1s, and that has the same value as 100. So today we're going to show, not that we're gonna show a second strategy. So let Miss Street move all this out of the way so I can try to get us a little bit closer to the wall that's beside my couch. It's a true story. Whew. Okay, here we go. So keeping all these things in our mind, Miss Street is going to try to model for you the associative property. Okay, so I'm going to do my very, 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 very best. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little nervous, and it makes me just want to not do it. Because I don't want to mess up on live Facebook. But if I do, it's okay. I can come back and fix it. That's the beauty of this. That's one thing Miss Street has learned, boys and girls and parents and teachers, if you're watching. It's okay to mess up, and it's okay to learn from your mistake. That's called micro-teaching in John Hattie's research, and that has a great effect size for student achievement. So if Miss Street messes up, don't be like, she don't know what she's doing. I look back at the videos that I make, and just like yesterday, I wanted to talk about compose and decompose in third grade, and I didn't even say it one time. So I'm going to try, okay? So Miss Street's going to try to model this associative property with you, and we'll see. I might mess up, and it's going to be fine. So I know our goal is 400 cans, so I'm going to write that over here again. And right now I have 134 cans. Okay. So how do I take my 134 and get to 400? So basically I'm saying I have a known and I have an unknown. So I start with 134 plus I'm not sure how many more I need. So then I know that whatever I get here is going to have the same value as 400 cans. Okay? So I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking I want to break down the 400. Okay? Because if I break apart the 400 with my associative property, that might help me get to where I'm going, I think. Okay? So if I said I have 400, what's another way I can look at that? We did this one yesterday. I can say I have 300, 3 100s, 90 10s, and 10 1s. So I did that work yesterday. I can bring that down to here. And I don't know necessarily that I'm using the associative property here. I think what I'm doing is using strategies based on place value. And that's where I'm going to start. And then if I don't get to the associative property with this, because I really want to study some more, it's okay. It really is. Look at my face. It's okay. So if I take this 400 and I say, I know 400 is the same as, let me get a different color because we did this yesterday. So we know this news. We know this is 300 plus 90 plus 10. Okay. And so then if I know that I already have 134, that's 100. That's like this. Let me show you. Oh, come on, Miss Street. Stretch it. That's 134 30. If I can hold these up. That's 130. Oh, other side. Miss Street, you can do this. No, over here. So 134 cans. That's my concrete. Okay. And we played with that yesterday. So there it is. So I have 100 plus 30 plus 4. Now, in everything that I know to do, I know the relationship between addition and subtraction too. So I know if I say 300 plus 90 plus 10, I'm going to get 400. And I know if I say 100 plus 30 plus 4, that's 100 plus, not 30 tens, 3 tens, not 90 tens, 9 tens, see? And 4 ones. I have to know that if I add those together, what my total will be. But how am I going to find out what the missing number is? How am I going to find out? You guys should be doing this with your situational types, because we have we know our part, we know one part, we're missing a part, and we know our total. So how are we going to find the missing part? What do you think we should do? Look here. Relationship between addition and subtraction. Am I going to add these two numbers together? No, because if I add them together, I know just by looking at 300 and 100, if I add those, that's 400. Then I have to add 90 and 30 and 10 and 4, and that's going to give me way more than 400. And we talked yesterday about how it's okay to have a goal of 400 and even get more than 400. But for the purposes of this problem, we want to be sure that we do the right thing, okay? So we're going to subtract. It's a true story. So I know I can say 300 minus 100 is what? 200. I know you're like, what are you doing, Miss Street? If I go horizontally this way, this is my 134 that I'm subtracting from 400, which is my 390 and 10. Okay? But I'm showing you how to subtract. And my answer to this, I'm going to have to add my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So we're really, really, really focusing on strategies for place value. So 90 minus 30. What's 9 minus 3? 60. Good. Plus 10 minus 4. 6. We just did that on the subitizing. We did. So if I look at these numbers, Miss Street's brain can put that together very easily. And I know that we have 266 cans left to go. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm right. I know if I put 266 here and I added these two numbers together, would I have 400? Let's look. I know I'm taking forever, and it's okay. Oh. But you're like, if it's Miss Street, I just want to be done. Too bad, so sad. Join with me. It's going to be great. Okay. So I'm going to say 134 plus 266, but I'm still going to be doing this with my place value. So I'm going to break it down to help my brain be able to not subitize, because it's not like dots, but to be able to see what I'm actually doing. So I'm going to break it down to 100 plus 3 tens plus 4 ones. And remember, we're adding here this one. Okay, so we have to know our relationships between addition and subtraction to be able to really understand what we're doing. 200 plus 60 plus 6. So I can start any way I want to with this problem. You know, when we were in school, parents, we always started here and carried and all that kind of jazz. But in this type of problem, it's okay to let our kids explore and see what they see. Okay, here we go. Do you already see what it is? Because we did it yesterday. So 100 plus 200 is 300. 30 plus 60 is 90. Plus 4 plus 6. We just did that in our subitize, and I didn't even know this was going to happen, but it's true. 10. And what do we know about 300 plus 90 plus 10? Has the same value as 400. I know if I said 90 with 10 more, that would be 100. Add it to my 300, and that, folks, is 400. So Miss Street has shown 2 strategies to solve this problem. I've shown the concrete models and the strategies based on place value. I thought I was going to show you associative, but I didn't. I've got to do some more research on that business, and I don't know that you can do associative with subtraction. I think that's where Miss Street was going, because I know enough to know I don't think associative works with subtraction, but if it does, let me know. I think it's just for addition, and I knew that today's problem was subtraction. Okay, if you have any questions, holler. Miss Street has another. I'm okay. I have another. I'm really okay. I have another problem for us to do on Monday using the same standard. Hopefully, I'm going to double check it, triple check it, make sure we can get into associative property so we can practice that. I hope you have the best weekend ever. Even if it's cloudy, it's okay. You can still have fun in cloudy weather. It's a true story. So Miss Street loves you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on Monday.